Hey guys, what's going on? Hayden here. Before I get to the video, you've probably already seen by the title what it is. I'm trying out a new microphone situation after I completely murdered my microphone with my Smash Brothers reaction. So hopefully this sounds okay. If it doesn't, I apologize. I'm, fiddling around with a bit of stuff. I'm not the biggest tech guy, but anyway, let's get to the topic at hand. My Super Smash Brothers roster. So when I was making this roster, I tried to kind of think of two things: who I want to get into Smash Brothers, who I really want to see, but I also tried to keep it semi-realistic. I tried to make sure that there was a good argument for every character that I put on here, even if you may not agree with that argument. So, with that said, this roster is completely, my opinion, what I want to see, what I think might happen. If you have other suggestions, by all means, talk about it in the comments. So I just kind of want to go through this roster with you guys, just to kind of give you guys my thoughts on how I created it. If you guys are wondering how I made it, it's a roster creator. I will leave a link for it in the description of the video, so you can make your own. But yeah, just kind of thought I would casually go through this with you guys. So before I get into like character specific stuff, I generally base this roster off of the skeleton of Smash Wii U and 3DS. The only things that I cut were Dr. Mario, Lucina, and Dark Pit, just because like I feel like they're better fits as like character skins, and I don't feel like they need to be full-blown characters. Just make them skins because they all are based off of one character or another. So Dr. Mario is based off Mario, Lucina is basically Marth with a little bit of a tweak, and Dark Pit is essentially Pit. So the blatant character clones are the only ones that I got rid of, and I would just throw them on as skins of other characters. So without further ado, let's get into it. So of course with the Mario series, we've got Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, Yoshi, Rosalina, and Luma, Bowser Jr. and Wario. Well, I mean, there's some different series in there too. The Yoshi series, the Wario series. But I would love to see Paper Mario. I threw Paper Mario in there. I would love to see him, using his hammer abilities, maybe using the Splash Hammer, the Color Hammer, or whatever. Again, I am one of the few people that really loves Color Splash. I think it was amazing, and I would love to see, that worked in there, the Color Hammer with some sort of mechanic. But other than that, like Paper Mario, he does have some cool mechanics. It could be this really light fighter, kind of like Game & Watch where he's 2D, but maybe he could transform into like different paper crafts, like paper airplane from Thousand Year Door. All that stuff I think would be really cool to see what you could do with Paper Mario. And I feel like the Paper Mario series is good enough to get some representation. Again, Sticker Star, we don't really talk about that, but the rest of the series, the first two games are amazing. Super Paper Mario is a little controversial, but I thought Color Splash was really good. So, I think it's a big enough series to get some representation in Smash beyond just like a stage or like stickers if those ever come back, or like assist trophy, stuff like that. So, moving on to the Donkey Kong series, we got of course DK and we've got Diddy. But I would also love to see Dixie and King K. Rool, and I think they're both very likely. Dixie, of course, being more likely than King K. Rool, in my opinion. Um, but with Dixie Kong, she was in Tropical Freeze. She's got the whole hair mechanic, the whole hair flying propeller mechanic thing, which I think could add a lot. A Donkey Kong character with really good recovery, because Diddy's recovery is good, albeit a little risky. But Dixie's, I think, would be a lot more reliable. And she could also have like her gumball shooter from Tropical Freeze, and maybe it was in other games as well. But I think there's enough to differentiate Dixie Kong. And hey, we need more Donkey Kong representation. We need more female representation. And Dixie is quite relevant, because of Tropical Freeze. And Tropical Freeze is also coming to the Switch now. So I think Dixie is the most likely. Super sorry about that. Someone just came to the door. I had to cut the video. Anyways, like I was saying, Dixie Kong. I definitely think she's the most likely new Donkey Kong rep. We need more Donkey Kong characters. I would love to see Dixie Kong. But there's another Donkey Kong character that I've thrown in there, and that is King K. Rool. And I actually don't think it's too greedy to get two reps in one game. I mean, let's think about it. We got 4 new Fire Emblem reps with Smash Wii U and 3D. Well, technically 3. We got Robin, Corrin, and Lucina, and then Roy came back as DLC. So Fire Emblem got a good treatment, and then in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, King Dedede and Meta Knight were both added as newcomers. Now you could argue the whole Sakurai bias or whatever. That's fine. But then there's also the fact that Pokemon in Smash Bros. Brawl got the Pokemon Trainer, and it got Lucario, which was technically 4 new characters. So I think adding 2 new characters from a franchise in one entry, I don't think that's as big of a deal as some people might think. And again, the Donkey Kong series is a very big series for Nintendo. I don't think people realize that. Donkey Kong is one of their oldest franchises, and it's been one of their, most consistent franchises. There's a lot of great Donkey Kong games out there, and they keep a fairly consistent release schedule. And King K. Rool, I mean, like I said with Dixie Kong, we need more Donkey Kong representation, but we also need more villain representation in the roster, at least in my opinion. And King K. Rool is definitely those. He would be another great heavyweight character, and there's a lot you can do with King K. Rool. He's been a captain, he's been a mad scientist, he's been a boxer. There's so much you can do with King K. Rool, and I don't think the whole he's too big argument applies to him. He's fine. He could be resized. He's like Bowser. So King K. Rool, I would love to see him. We got the Inklings in there, of course. They're already confirmed, so don't really need to talk about that. But Springman from ARMS, they decided, you know what, we need an ARMS rep. The writing's on the wall. ARMS is super big. There was even that interview with Mr. Yabuki, the director of ARMS, and when they asked him about an ARMS rep getting into Smash, I think he kind of he went and he just kind of did some quick thinking PR talk just to not spoil anything. But I mean, pretty sure ARMS is going to be in there, and I would love to see what they could do with an ARMS rep. Being able to grab someone from way across the stage with both your arms. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So moving on, of course. Now, I didn't add any Zelda representation. I kept it with Link, Zelda, Sheik, Ganondorf, and Toon Link, and the reason for that is what I would rather than more reps is reworking Link and Ganondorf. So we already know that Link is going to be Breath of the Wild Link, at least aesthetically, but I really hope he plays like Breath of the Wild Link, with Revali's Gale. Maybe he'll have Magnesis, maybe he'll have a disposable inventory. I want him to play like Breath of the Wild Link, and I have a feeling that will happen. Keep Toon Link in there, though. What the hell? It's like people don't want me to record today or something. Another Jehovah's Witnesses or whatever just came to my door. Come on, man, just let me record this. Anyway, had to cut the video again. Zelda characters. Link, keep him like Breath of the Wild Link. Toon Link, keep Toon Link the way he is, so that there's still a Link that plays like the classic Link, moveset that's been in Smash Brothers ever since the beginning. With the arrows, the boomerang, the bombs, the hook shot, all that stuff. Keep Toon Link the same. But make Ganondorf like Ganondorf. Don't make him Captain Falcondorf. I think people are kind of sick of that by now. Make Ganondorf Ganondorf, okay? Maybe base him off his Hyrule Warriors incarnation. I would be fine with that. He plays more like actual Ganondorf in that. That would be cool. Alright, Metroid series. Samus, Zero Suit Samus, and yes, I would love to see Ridley, and I think it is totally possible. I think the argument that he's too big is nonsense. We've had Bowser be huge in some Mario games, and he totally works. In the original Metroid, Ridley is very much the similar as, I can't talk. He's not much bigger than Samus. I think Ridley is totally workable. There have been really good Smash mods out there that have made Ridley very workable, and he's not overpowered. Get Ridley in there. The Metroid series needs more representation. What other character are you going to use other than Ridley? Shut up with your other M references with Adam Malkovich and all that stuff. No. So, Pit and Palutena for the Kid Icarus series. Again, I think Dark Pit would just make more sense as a skin for Pit. And I don't think the Kid Icarus series, a lot of people want Hades, but the Kid Icarus series, to me, there's only 3 games in it. There's Kid Icarus, there's, I think, a sequel to Kid Icarus that no one really knows about. I think it's like Of Myths and Monsters or something. And there's Kid Icarus Uprising. I feel like the series isn't quite deserving enough yet of a 3rd rep. As great as the series is, there's some bigger franchises out there to get some more representation in first. And that includes the Kirby series. So we've got Kirby, King Dedede, Meta Knight, and Bandana D. Bandana D just kind of feels like he's missing from the roster for no reason. If you're playing, Return to Dreamland, you've got Kirby, Meta Knight, Dedede as playable characters, and Bandana D. So they're like the main 4. They've been like the main 4 for a while, and Bandana D just isn't there. So, I feel like, come on, get him in. The Kirby series is definitely big enough for 4 characters. I mean, we've had so many games recently with Triple Deluxe, Robobot, Star Allies. There was um, Blow Up Blast. There was Kirby 3D, the one on the 3DS, the arena one, the multiplayer one. I forget what it's called. Um, Rumble something? I forget. I totally forget. I don't follow the Kirby series that well. But the point is, there have been a lot of Kirby games lately. Get Bandana D in there. Definitely deserves it. The Kirby series deserves it. Let's do it. So, of course, we got to keep Little Mac in there. He was super requested for Smash Wii U. Got to keep him in there. He fits in perfectly. From the Fire Emblem series, I kept it the same. Marth, Ike, Roy, Robin, and Corrin. The only thing that I ditched was Lucina, but I think that's just fine as a Marth skin. And I think that works out way better. Again, if you haven't played Fire Emblem Awakening, I haven't, but I do know that Lucina kind of goes under the whole Marth persona, just as a disguise or whatever. I mean, and it makes sense that she's based off Marth because of that. So just make her a skin. I don't think she needs to be a full character. Okay, so from the Star Fox series, Fox and Falco, you got to bring back Wolf. Like, so when when there were character cuts for Smash Wii U, I was like, all right, I guess they're not bringing back Wolf and Lucas because they're being they got made, their moveset got made into custom moves for Ness and Fox, but then Lucas came back. So it was like, well, where's Wolf? It just made no sense that Wolf wasn't in the roster. So bring him back. He has been super highly requested, especially in the Fighter Ballad days. It makes sense. Get Wolf back. So from the Pokemon series, Pikachu, Charizard, Jigglypuff, Mewtwo, Lucario, and Greninja. I don't think any of them need to be cut. People have said maybe get rid of Jigglypuff, but I think Jigglypuff isn't iconic in the Pokemon series really anymore. But Jigglypuff has become iconic in the Smash series, kind of like Captain Falcon has. Captain Falcon is iconic because of Smash. Get Decidueye in there as well, though. I would love to see Decidueye. I think again, I've seen some people argue that Incineroar is more popular than Decidueye. I think Decidueye offers more variety in terms of what he can do from the other Pokemon characters already. We've already got a fire Pokemon in Charizard. Decidueye, I think, would be super cool. He could be this, like, phantom archer that could, like, maybe he could fly around and shoot arrows with the air. Maybe he could, like, disappear and, like, reappear. Just play, like, mind games. I think he could be a really gimmicky character, a really fun character to play. I think he has a lot more fun potential than Incineroar does. Incineroar would just be another big, bulky fire monster. We've already got Charizard and Bowser for that, so I don't think Incineroar would be as interesting of an addition as Decidueye would be, but I'm sure Sakurai can make anything interesting. But Decidueye, to me, I think he seems the most likely and the most fun, at least from, like, Generation 7. We know nothing about Generation 8 as of this video, so I think Decidueye makes the most sense. So, moving on, we've got Mr. Game & Watch. Gotta bring him back. Bring back the Ice Climbers, because Smash 3DS is not a crutch anymore, or it's not a crutch, not a crippling thing anymore. Bring back the Ice Climbers. Come on. The only reason they weren't in Smash 4 is because of the 3DS. That's not a problem anymore. Bring them back. We got Rob, we got Duck Hunt, Ness, and Lucas. I don't think we need to add anyone from the Mother series. I mean, that would be cool, but the Mother series hasn't been relevant in over a decade, so yeah. Captain Falcon, Villager, and Isabelle. I'm adding Isabelle from the Animal Crossing series. Animal Crossing is certainly big enough nowadays where I could see 2 reps happening. We just got Villager in Smash 4, but I mean, Isabelle would be probably the next choice. That seems to be the fan favorite. I'm not that big into Animal Crossing. If it comes to the Switch, I'm definitely going to get into it. But Isabelle, from what I can tell, just seems to be like the most requested character after that, and after Villager, and she even got a costume in Smash Wii U, so it shows that she is popular. So definitely get her in there. I think that would be great. So we got Olimar, of course, the Wii Fit trainer, Isaac. Man, I want Isaac from Golden Sun. I want him. Like, Golden Sun is such a cult classic game. I guess you can call it a cult classic, because we've never really seen anything from the Golden Sun series, the DS game. But those first 2 games on the Game Boy Advance, I love them both. They're both amazing games. And, Isaac was an assist trophy in Brawl, and then just randomly not in Smash Wii U at all. So, hey, give Isaac his chance. I think he can play really unique. He could use a lot of earth magic in combination with his sword powers. Kind of like Robin, where he's like a mix of sword and magic. But I think Isaac has a lot of potential as a character. And I really hope Sakurai kind of looks into that. Because, again, Golden Sun, the first 2 games, I haven't played the DS one. But Golden Sun and The Lost Age are both amazing, amazing games. And they're on the Wii U Virtual Console if your Wii U is still plugged in, so definitely check those games out. So moving on, of course, got to keep our boys shelved, but Rex and Pyra, get them in there as well. Xenoblade 2 is amazing. Xenoblade 2 was so good, and Rex and Pyra are a big part of that. You can't have one without the other if you're going to put them in Smash. They got to work together. That's kind of how they are in the game. They're, you don't want to have one without the other. And I feel like it could work where, like, kind of like the Pokemon trainer, where Pyra could almost be, like, in the background, and Rex could be fighting normally, but then, like, every once in a while, like, his special attacks would get buffs, and Pyra would call out what those buffs are. If you've played Xenoblade 2, you kind of know how Pyra and Rex work together. And I think that would be really cool. I think it would be, again, a really unique fighter. And then the final Smash would be like the Burning Sword attack, or I won't spoil what the next level of that is, just because, again, some of you might still be playing through Xenoblade 2, or what the final Smash could be. Again, I won't spoil it, but if you played Xenoblade 2, you probably have a good idea what I'm talking about, what the final Smash would be, so I'll leave it at that. The Mii Fighters, I mean, gotta bring them back. They're iconic to Nintendo. I don't really care about the Miis, but I think they'll come back no matter what. Moving on to third parties. Pac-Man. Gotta keep him. I mean, Nintendo and Namco have such a great relationship. Even if Namco isn't directly involved in Smash 5, Smash Switch, whatever it is, we don't know that yet. Pac-Man's gotta come back. Mega Man and Ryu, same thing. Nintendo and Capcom have a great relationship, and those are probably their two most iconic reps. And Mega Man 11 is coming this year. Street Fighter has kind of made its home on the Switch with its older games, so no doubt about that. Sonic and Bayonetta, great relationship with Nintendo. Bayonetta is basically exclusive to Nintendo now, so she'll be back. Hopefully she's reworked those so that she's not, like, overpowered like she has been recently. So Square. This is where things get a little less reliable. I think Cloud will come back. Nintendo and Square have a great relationship now. Square's already released some, multiple games on the Switch. We've got Octopath Traveler coming out this year. I think Cloud is safe. If he got into Smash Wii U in 2015, I think he can get into Smash Switch in 2018. Nintendo has a much better relationship with Square than they did a couple years ago. Yeah. Geno, though. I would love to see Geno. I recently played through Super Mario RPG again, and I don't think that game gets enough credit. That game is really good. And Geno's a great character, both with what he can do as attacks, but also just he's interesting. He's this star person that has overtaken a wooden toy, like a puppet. That's such a cool idea. And he got a costume in Smash Wii U. He's actually the only Mii Fighter costume that got a splash screen in Smash Wii U, which that shows me that Sakurai really does care about Geno. So get Geno in there. Super Mario RPG is an amazing game. It's the thing that started the Mario RPG spin-offs. And a lot of people want Geno. I think he was actually considered for Brawl, too. So I would love to see Geno. And finally, Shovel Knight. Nintendo and the indie scene have been great. Excuse me. Nintendo has been really great with just porting the indies. And Shovel Knight is, I would argue, the most iconic of the modern era of indies. In the 2010 era, I guess we'll say. Shovel Knight is huge. And it came to Wii U and 3DS first. Of course, it launched alongside the PC version, but then we got Spectre of Torment exclusive to the Switch for like a month. So it's clear that Shovel Knight belongs. Yacht Club Games was definitely thinking about like old school Nintendo when they are making Shovel Knight. So getting him in Smash Brothers, I just think is very poetic. It definitely makes sense. Kind of represents Nintendo's whole indie scene as a whole, and having one indie character in there to represent Nintendo's indies, I think that's okay. Some people have made a fuss about it. I think it's okay, and Shovel Knight himself even plays and looks like a long-lost NES character. Get him in there. I think he would play great. His attacks and his items in the games translate to a Smash moveset really easily, I think. So, and I would love to see, like, a 3D modeled Shovel Knight stage, like a huge, like, HD Shovel Knight stage. Oh, that would be so cool. But yeah, what do you guys think of my roster? Let me know in the comments, and again, I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want to make your own roster. It's super easy to use. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you've not already for more on Super Smash Bros. Switch, hopefully soon, and other Nintendo goodness. Alright, peace out guys. Bye.